Michel Barnier tonight defied stubborn EU leaders as he pleaded with Britain to hold further Brexit talks after Boris Johnson's chief negotiator accused the bloc of rowing back on a promise to intensify the process. In a desperate intervention, the Brussels diplomat vowed to speed up the wrangling over a free trade agreement in the coming weeks. It comes after EU leaders scrapped plans for the Frenchman to intensify talks and instead ordered Boris Johnson to compromise. Mr. Barnier told a news conference, "We're available. We shall remain available until the last possible day. The negotiations aren't over. We want to give these negotiations every chance to be successful. I shall say to David Frost we're prepared to speed up negotiations in the next few days." The Frenchman said there is still a real differences on the main sticking points: fisheries, state subsidies, controls and enforcement of the final agreement. But he offered hope of an agreement in the coming weeks if Britain accepts his offer of accelerated talks. Mr. Barnier added, "I can't say as we stand here that we would necessarily get a deal on the basis that we have got prospects of a deal. We need to make progress, in particular on the level playing field, governance and the fisheries dossier." Mr. Johnson will tomorrow reveal whether he is prepared to walk away from the Brexit talks. But Lord Frost, the Prime Minister's Brexit envoy, said he was disappointed with the bloc's recent announcement. Earlier today, EU leaders taunted Mr. Johnson by refusing to inject energy into the wrangling over a post-Brexit trade deal. In a joint statement, the EU 27 refused to grant Michel Barnier permission to intensify the talks and instead ordered the Prime Minister to compromise. Responding to the snub, Lord Frost said, disappointed by the European Council conclusions on UK-EU negotiations. Surprised the EU is no longer committed to working intensively to reach a future partnership as agreed with Ursula von der Leyen on the 3rd of October. Also surprised by the suggestion that to get an agreement all future moves must from the UK. It's an unusual approach to conducting a negotiation. EU leaders faced down threats by the Prime Minister to walk away from the talks with a demand for fresh trade-offs on state subsidies. Their statement said, "The European Council invites the Union's chief negotiator to continue negotiations in the coming weeks, and calls on the UK to make the necessary moves to make an agreement possible." The move came after Emmanuel Macron convinced the bloc to significantly harden its demands for continued access to Britain's fishing grounds. Ahead of the Crunch Brussels summit, the French president insisted the UK would have to sign up his conditions or prepare for a no-deal Brexit. Mr. Macron fumed, "If conditions aren't met, it's possible we don't have an agreement. We are ready for that. We are finalizing measures to take in all sectors, and if there are no good terms found at the end of the discussion, we are ready for a no deal. Our fishermen will not be the victims of Brexit. We didn't make that choice. The British people did." And Ireland said the two sides were still miles apart on reaching a deal over fishing opportunities after Brexit. But Irish Premier Michael Martin claimed that we can still get this resolved within the time frame available to us. He said, "With COVID-19 having such a devastating impact on society and on the economies of the UK and across Europe, obviously leaders will not want to hit citizens with a shock in terms of what no deal would represent.